Let me ask you a question. Take a good novice boxer. How many punches do you suppose he knows? The answer is 6. Now take an expert boxer, like a Muhammad Ali level boxer. How many punches do you suppose he knows? The answer is 6. And they're the same 6 punches that the novice knows. Jab, cross, left and right hook, left and right uppercut. So if the novice and the expert all know the same punches, what makes the difference between them? I'll tell you what I think. The difference between a champ and a chump is that a champ never, ever, ever stops working on perfecting the fundamentals. If you're not spending 99% of your time perfecting the fundamentals, you're not training, you're just pretending. So what are the fundamentals? Funny you should ask. Balance, line, focus, and distance. That means first is footwork, footwork, footwork. Your stance, moving forward and back, the proper guard position, that comes first. Then built on top of that is your punches, the thrusts and the parries and so on, whatever you do with the blade. If you haven't been to a boxing gym, do yourself a great big favor. Visit one and see how they train. You think boxers perfect the fundamentals by sparring? You think a guy just comes in and whoever happens to be around, let's get in the ring and pity-pat around and that's how they train, that's how they achieve that level of perfection? Got news for you. Here's what you're gonna see at the gym. You're gonna see guys come in and shadow box in a mirror if they got one. You're gonna watch them work the heavy bag and the speed bag and the double end bag and the uppercut bag and skip rope. And you're gonna see them do that round after round after round after round after round. Then maybe you're gonna see them get in the ring with the coach and work on the mitts for a few rounds. Working on specific things, working on those patterns, getting those patterns so solid. And then maybe sometime they'll spar. Maybe, not always. Sometimes they'll spar, but they're not going to just spar haphazardly. They spar with a purpose. They're in there working on something in particular. The point is, you don't build your skills in the ring. You test your skills in the ring. You build your skills in the gym. Skill has 2 mortal enemies, fear and fatigue. If you're afraid, you're not going to be able to do shit and you're not going to learn shit. So I never put my students, my beginning students especially, in sparring until they're emotionally ready for it. And they're emotionally ready for it when their skills, their fundamental skills are so reliable that it doesn't matter what their emotional state is, they're going to do them right. Then they're ready to step on the strip and spar. Not until then. You have to remember that you don't rise to the challenge. You sink to the level of your training. And that's a law. Once you have some skills, it's okay to practice in a fatigued state, but don't try and learn new skills when you're tired. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to be substituting moves for the moves you want. Usually gross motor patterns for fine motor patterns. Now, once you have your skills and you can execute them flawlessly, then, do them until you drop. Because there's a chance that sooner or later, you may have to execute those skills in a fatigued state. And they still have to be reliable. every time. Anyway, I say again, if you're not spending 99% of your training time working on perfecting fundamentals, you're not training, you're just pretending.